Hi, everyone. Welcome to Domain Sherpa and today's Domain Sherpa review episode titled All Your Brand Are Belong to Us. And shout out to Zero Wing. And thank you for tuning into the podcast with the best domain name and digital asset content in the world. Today's show features Braden, Ammar, and Drew, and it's a good one. We play the domain game featuring Passage.com, Wealth.net, GrandExpo.com, Baps.com, and Euphoric.net. And then we've got the NameJetGonnaJet segment sponsored by NameJet, and we talk about some domains coming up for auction, including InTheZone.com, RisingTide.com, and StrategicFunding.com. We also talk about Hesta.com and how to approach a potential domain acquisition when you only got one key prospective buyer. So how do they do that? We get some really good insight from the Sherpas on that. We also get into a discussion about Meta selecting Threads.net for the homepage for their new Threads app, and does that signal a boost for .net domains in general? And we also talk about the recent sale of SolarEnergy.com. And remember, if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, you can also watch the video version at DomainSherpa.com and on our YouTube channel at ds.tv. You can also listen to the shows on Apple and Spotify and other podcast platforms as well. And make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, and all that good stuff where you can. We're also now integrating our shows with Muse.ai, which provides new search functionality for the shows and the transcripts as well. So definitely check all that out. And last but not least, big shout out to Dan.com, the #1 place in the world to buy and sell your domains with a special platform made for domain investors. And with that, it's now time to get into this episode of Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. So let's go. What's up, Sherpa Network? Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Jonathan Tenenbaum, a.k.a. JT, a.k.a. Jay On, a.k.a. Sherpa Winfrey, a.k.a. John Burgundy, and I'm the host and producer of Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. Today's show is a Domain Sherpa review, where we get into the minds of successful domain investors using real examples so we can learn strategies and tactics to become more successful domain name investors ourselves. These are the experts, the OGs, the best in the biz. And I'm just happy to be here. So let me tell you, there are 4 segments to the Domain Sherpa review. Segment 1 is grand opening. I intro the Sherpas. We talk to them, see what's going on. I do the AKAs. We get on some related things, some unrelated things. See what's up. Segment 2 is the domain game. We hear about what the Sherpas recently bought or sold. Everybody guesses. We give out, we keep score, and then we give out some swag to the winner. Maybe, actually we do have some swag. So, the only reason I haven't sent it to you, Braden, is because you currently don't have a permanent address. So, that's
And what
really,
about me? What's your excuse for not sending my swag?
you've never won. Hey. I'm just playing, baby. I got you. You a winner. Ammar. All right.
Girl, you got what I need.
Yeah, but you say he's just a friend. All right. Segment 3, NameJetGonnaJet, sponsored by our friends at NameJet. That's where we review a list of domains coming up for auction, see what the Sherpas like and what they don't like. And then last but certainly not least, segment 4 is GrandClosing, where we discuss anything we haven't covered already, what's going on in the domain space, looking at the market trends, current events, and allowing our guests to mention and promote anything they want to talk about that we have not already discussed. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and introduce the Sherpas. Over to my right, I got my boy Andrew Rosner, a.k.a. Morpheus, a.k.a. the Dirk Diggler, Digital Assets, a.k.a. Bob Lee Swagger, the Sniper, a.k.a. Drew got what I need, a.k.a. never going to give Drew up, Graybeard, the Domain Pirate, Cancel Adams, all that good stuff. Drew, what's up, my dude?
Living my best life.
You really are living your best
life,
man.
Yep, absolutely.
It's your world, man. We all just living in it. But all right, well, welcome back. I know you were away. You were in, I think Greece was where your summer globe trotting.
A little bit of a little smoke. But just for one day. Every other day was perfectly clear and beautiful. But it was hot. It was too hot. But it was a great trip. Yeah, it was great. Not in Portugal, baby. Portugal is the best place on earth. Portugal is 85, 88 degrees, 90 degrees. We got that nice cool breeze coming off the Atlantic. It's as good as it gets, baby. Portugal.
Oh, man, Portugal. Man.
I landed in the best place on earth.
Big shout
Big
out
shout
to
out Portugal.
Big shout out to Lisbon. You know what I'm saying?
Big shout out to all you Americans who need a visa to come and visit my ass now.
We need a visa to come to Portugal now?
As of yesterday or 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's like the ESTA for
Do you
non-Americans.
do it at the
to
airport,
America.
or you have to do it ahead of time?
I think you could do it either one. It's like instantaneous. It's basically instant. It costs €7 or €8 or something.
So it's just a money making.
Yeah,
Just
it's reciprocity. It's reciprocity.
We reciprocating up in here.
Yeah,
And well, cool,
I'm all
man.
for
you know?
reciprocity. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I do love me
eye
some
for an eye,
Lisbon.
baby. Eye for an eye.
It is one of my favorite cities, favorite places.
I think we
so
should
big
introduce the eye for an eye type of shit back. You know what I'm saying? Like we'd have so much less corruption and all this bullshit going on.
I'm with it, man. Like
You have a lot of motherfuckers in politics with no eyes. I'll tell you that much.
Or you have like Mitch McConnell, man. We're just going to turn your battery off. You know what I'm saying? Homeboy, did you see that clip? He's like,
That was the hottest shit I ever saw. I never saw anyone do that.
Did you guys see it?
All of a sudden, he went ice. He dude's talking. You know, his fucking face is melting like usual. And then all of a sudden, dude just goes,
Wow.
and he doesn't blink. His eyes don't close. He doesn't move. His knees don't buckle. You would think if he had a stroke or like a heart attack, something would happen. But the dude just went.
Yeah, just froze. Like it was literally like somebody's pulled like.
And it's
pulled
like
the plug.
it's like a minute. He's like this for like 40 seconds before, and people are looking around. They're like, the dudes are like, "Are you okay?" The dude's just frozen. He's like,
yeah,
that was weird. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen a human being freeze like that.
When
crazy.
was this?
Yesterday. It was yesterday. Mitch McConnell. He just froze. It was like, dude. I'm telling you, I'm not even playing. Okay.
But you're talking about a movie.
No, this was
this is
yesterday.
real life.
Mitch McConnell. Yeah. It was literally like, and I'm sorry. I know, dude is probably he's a horrible human being, so I'm not really sorry. But like, I don't know. I've never seen that happen to a human. It looked like somebody just shut the switch off on a robot. Like robot was talking, somebody hit the switch and went. Robot froze. That's what happened. Like I actually think I can't think of another reason other than he is a robot.
And then he was escorted away.
Yeah. I mean, he came back though, like shortly after, and made. I don't know if
they put a new battery in the robot.
They put new battery in the battery pack. Put a battery in his back for real. Yeah, like dude came up to him like 40 seconds after, like he just stopped moving, talking, everything. Was like, "Do you have anything else to say?" And he's like,
blinking. He literally stopped blinking. Like, how do you just stop blinking?
He kind of came to, and they were like, "You have anything left to say?" He's like, "Nah." And then they kind of sort of wheeled him out. You know what I mean?
He didn't even say
look, these politicians on both sides of the fence, man. You can't be 80 plus years old. Like, I get your point. Your point is, just like go poolside. You've grafted enough money. You can go like, go on vacation. You know what I'm saying? It's a wrap,
exactly. Yo, your graft is deep. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I'm saying? You got paid.
50 years of graft. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Move aside for somebody else to get a little graft.
Anyway, all right. Well, good. I'm glad we're already vibing today. Man, today's already off to a good start. We're hitting politics. We're 30 seconds in. You know it's going down. Let me continue with the AKAs. To my lower right, I got my boy Braden Pollock, a.k.a. Tony Stark, a.k.a. Benjamin Button, a.k.a. Eat, Bray, Love, a.k.a. Braden Statham, a.k.a. Braden Pollockton, the Archduke of Woodland Hills. See? Oh, no disclaimer needed in this bitch. Although you're not.
I don't think Woodland Hills has ever had an Archduke.
It does now. You know what I'm saying? Bradenton, Pollockton.
There's a first for everything.
You know what I'm saying? We changing it up. We're putting crowns on our heads. We changing the game. That would be kind of cool.
They got a mayor. I think he's probably the owner of the dry cleaner or something. I don't know who he is. But.
Exactly right, man. Hey, but he should walk around wearing a crown. That would be really cool. That'd be some viral shit.
Nothing stopping you from pronouncing yourself as the Archduke.
Ooh.
You know what?
You know what I mean? You don't even need a duel.
Well, you know what? I already own woodlandhills.com, so I'll just
there you
you are the man. You
crown myself.
Exactly.
I mean,
Listen,
I think it's a foregone conclusion now.
As domain name owners, we are sovereign digital individuals. So on woodlandhills.com, if you post up, this is woodlandhills.com, the official city, the official website of Woodland Hills. As of today, the Archduke of Woodland Hills, Braden Pollock.
It'll just be a picture of me like this. I'm back.
Yep.
I think a crown is an
that's
underrated.
official. Who's gonna tell you otherwise?
Because
Nobody.
and if you rock the crown, more people would know. And so we were having a conversation about
Just
this
so
earlier
everybody
too.
understands, this is the value of domain names. You know what I'm saying? You can't be the Archduke of Woodland Hills if you don't own woodlandhills.com. Because then somebody else then Ammar is gonna own woodlandhills.com. He's gonna say, I'm the Archduke of Woodland Hills, and you ain't shit.
Now we get into violence because now you guys got to settle it for real. Hey, real quick, because Drew brought up a point earlier today about crowns in general, and I didn't realize there was a dual purpose to crowns. That there is a benefit to having these gems in and around your head. I guess is a real thing, So it's not just for the pomp of it, but it is,
Is it also like to if you have to escape, you have some money with you?
Man, it's about resonance and frequency and resonating the
like the crystals, the energy.
Yeah. Yes. Except that when you're rocking with like sapphires, it's much it resonates much higher than a like a crystal, right? Or but yeah, that's why that dude's rocking 200 karat sapphires on his forehead. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to King Charles. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out King Charles, man.
All right.
There ain't no rapper following like King Charles.
Ain't no rapper telling me I can't get no money.
Yeah.
Ain't no rapper that also
outside
Camilla Parker Bowles either, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Queen B. All right. Let's Braden, how you doing though, man? I introduced you but didn't even let you get a word in. What's up?
I'm hanging in, man. Just waiting to get back to Woodland Hills.
That's it.
Next week.
See, you're gonna be back, man. You're gonna show up like Return of the King, Lord of the Rings.
He's rolling in with a Trojan horse.
Back to his
living out of tired of living out of a suitcase.
Y'all thought shit was sweet? I'm rolling in with my Trojan horse. The Archduke is back.
The Archduke of Woodland Hills, baby. Let's go.
Almost back. Almost.
Guess who's back? back again.
All right, move on.
All right, keeping it moving. Below me, I got my boy Ammar Kuba, a.k.a. King Kuba, a.k.a. Danny Ocean, a.k.a. the even greater Gatsby. Don't chase an unworthy dream, y'all, a.k.a. Amarzan, a.k.a. Kuber Libre, a.k.a. Kuber Soze. What's up, man?
What's going on?
Kuber Soze.
We still in here, man. We still doing what we do.
By the way, your new AKA, John Jeremy, not John Jeremy. What's his name?
Shit, that's a good one too. John Burgundy, man.
John Burgundy. That's new. I like that.
That is new, man. Yeah,
Ron Jeremy. Maybe?
Yeah, John Jeremy.
Or John Jeremy could be.
I like that.
Ron Jeremy.
But tell me that there's not somebody who hit their expiration date, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? I mean, yo.
Well, now he's now enjoying.
Him and Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
That is a really interesting combination of people, man.
Too. I saw a comparison side by side of her literally on the campaign trail when Biden was running. That was 3 years ago, and she was like a very attractive, well-kept woman, and now she looks like, it ain't good. I'm gonna be polite. It just ain't good.
I'm gonna.
Looks like she's been through the ringer.
I'm gonna do some Googling.
She was the head of the Democratic Party.
No, I get it. I know who she is.
She was ever attractive, Drew.
Well, she was a well-kept. She was put together.
We
she
can
was
say
alright. She had no wrinkles. Let's put it this way.
Well-kept.
She had no wrinkles. Now she looks like she's,
There are always good photos of people and there are bad photos of people out there. And you find the best photo and you find the worst photo. You put them together and you're like, see what happened?
Nah, but this wasn't a photo. I was watching a live video stream of her interviewing Robert Kennedy. And she looked like death was upon her.
Oh,
Robert Kennedy.
She probably had better days. She looked like she's.
Robert Kennedy is the only hope for America.
Oh, wow. This is where we're going, huh?
Now I'm drinking. Come on now.
Damn. I'm serious, man. I'm serious.
Damn.
Robert Kennedy's the first political candidate to inspire me since childhood.
Yeah, but isn't he also kind of nuts?
Truth.
Like, isn't he also a wacko?
If you watch mainstream media and your brain is toxic, sure.
All right. Well, you know what? We're not going to get into too much of politics because that's not what we do here on Domain Sherpa. But look, shout out to Ron
All
Jeremy.
roads lead
Shout
to
out to
Domain,
Debbie
baby.
Wasserman Schultz. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Some people got supporters. Some people got detractors. This is what, some people were fans of. Some people were not.
Hey,
We
listen,
all have to
at
share the
least
same
people are
opinion.
talking about you. You know what I mean? It's better than nothing.
That's absolutely right. We all just people at the end of
And
the
you are
day.
channeling John Burgundy right now pretty well.
That's it, man. Well, Jen came up with that one on one of the rabbit hole shows, and so I
Wait, who's John Burgundy?
Well, it's
Ron
Ron
Burgundy.
Burgundy, Anchorman. Man.
Ron Burgundy. Me?
Yeah.
You?
No,
Who?
me. That's my AKA
Oh,
is
okay.
John Burgundy. Like Jonathan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And stay classy, San Diego.
Stay
Yeah.
classy. I like that. Stay classy. That's
Well,
great.
and then sometimes when he's pissed off, it's go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Yeah, exactly. Go fuck yourself, San Diego. But that's actually what they put on the
No, he's pissed
teleprompter.
off. He's just reading the teleprompter.
Yeah, he'll read anything off the teleprompter. I'm in a glass case of emotion. Milk was a bad choice. Anchorman is my.
All right, let's
jam.
go. Let's get started. We haven't even started the show yet.
No, I know, and look at how much fun we're
All
having.
right.
Look how much
Enough
fun we're having.
words.
Hey,
Let's
everybody,
go.
hey, look how good looking I am. All right, let's slide into some domain game. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of domain game, that's what we call that.
I got a
freestyle.
sapphire in my hand, by the way. Look at it.
Oh, it's black.
No, well, it's
Guess
not
we're not
black. It's deep blue. Deep blue.
Very nice.
Ah,
23 carats.
see, you
Is
put it
that
on
why
your
you're in
head.
such a good mood?
Might be. I've been playing with it in my hand all day.
See, there's something to it. Well, how about you can hold it in your what is it? You can hold it in your mind. You can hold it in your hand. See, something like that. All right. What you got to buy or a sell? We got the domain game, as everybody knows. Each one of the Sherpas is going to mention a name they either bought or sold. We're all going to guess on what that price was, and then we keep score, and the winner gets what winners get. You know what I'm saying? And Drew, you got to buy or a sell? You're up first.
Okay. Do you know if I can talk about the passage.com sale? I think I can.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good name.
All right. We sold passage.com. We owned.
I like that name.
You got to put it in your phone and flip your phone. I'm out on this.
Yeah.
'cause I know
If it
what
was a
it's
broker deal, I wouldn't tell you about it, but we owned it.
So, this is just Ammar and Braden. This is like a little head-to-head special matchup. Head-to-head, Billy. Throw head-to-head up on the top. Give it a little something like it's a special segment of the segment. All right. Go ahead and flip those phones. Boom. Ooh.
I got the under.
Okay. Braden is at 425,000. Ammar Zan is at 500,000. So
Ammar wants his swag.
Oh, Circle
Right, you
gets a
guys are
square.
both wrong.
Let's
You guys are
go.
both wrong. It's 650.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's
so I'm
like,
closer.
Nice.
yeah, that's the way the
Nice.
game works. He's like, neither of you got it exactly. Like, you're both wrong. But
Yeah.
Marcus,
Hey,
I mean, I
listen,
would've-
man. It's
I
about
would've priced mine up there,
exactitude.
too.
Exactitude.
exactitude is, details matter. That's true. But this is a guessing game and it's not intended to get it right on the number. All good.
Maybe you should stick that crystal up your ass, bro.
I thought about it. You know what I'm saying?
Like, hey, man, I'm just trying to get the full benefits of this sapphire.
I'm trying to, you know what I'm
Exactly. I
saying?
mean, it'll have a lot of vibrations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Like you get your thetan level up. You know what I mean? All right, let's go. So, all right, you want to tell any details about what we bought it and any of the history? Can you get
That's a
into any of
great
that,
name,
Drew?
man.
Or
No, I don't really tell you much. I mean, we bought it 3, 4, 5 years ago. I think we paid 75, and about a 9x.
bang.
Yeah, it's a good name. I mean, I would have pressed it up there too. I chose low because you said it was your name, and I thought, you're not brokering it. As much margin when it's your name, and you might just want to take your chips off the table. I know you just spent a bunch of money on the stuff, so I just chose low based on that. So, but 650 is a good price.
Sapphire down.
Sapphire down. Everybody stop. The show stops while he's got to find it. All right. Well, good. All right. Ammar gets the first point. All right, Braden, it is on you for the next name. Do you got a buy or a sell?
Let's do a buy. Let me see. Bought a bunch of names lately. Let's go with. Okay, here's one I just bought like 2 days ago. Wealth.net.
Ooh, nice name.
That's a great name. Love that. Love this journey for you.
So, and this is a buy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I like it. I like that name. That's a great name.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Last name I acquired.
And you bought it, so that I kind of want to go a little lower, but this is I'm gonna go lower.
All right.
Let's do it.
Ready, Freddie?
Yes.
No, JT, what are you doing?
Oh, my bad. I was just.
He wasn't looking.
Oh,
oh, right. I'm like, Braden, where's your guess?
I was going to put 15,000 too. I had 15,000 and then I changed it to 12,500.
I actually had 9.
Now I
real
got
quick.
squeezed.
So I was $7,777. Drew what were you, Drew? You were
12,500.
And Ammar was at 15,000. I was actually at 9,999 before I changed it, only because it was a buy and not a sell.
Yeah, I was at 12.5 and then I went to 15.
All right, so Braden.
You just stuck with your number. It was 10,000. 10,000 even.
What you know?
Wait. No, but I still got it.
JT, you're the winner, but you would have been off by $1.
Oh, that would have made me look like such a G, man. See, you got to have conviction. We talked about this morning on a call, and it's really true. You got to stick to your guns, and you got to have conviction. And more often than not, you're going to feel better because I think you feel worse. Now, in this case, I still won, so I'm still a winner, so I still feel really good about myself. But it's a good opportunity for a lesson for everybody to know and understand. It's like you'll feel worse if you move off your original gut feeling and you're wrong versus that last minute switch getting you, meaning like.
I was very poorly explained, but he's right.
Yeah. So it was extremely poorly explained. I get no points for the explanation, but I understand that too. All right. So Braden, talk to us about the details.
Yeah.
It was actually a little high for what I spend for one word nets. It's at the high end for sure, but such a strong, wealth
banger,
fintech, it's just such a great name. And also I like the net, I think the left and the right of the dot go together, like net, like network,
Yeah, I gotta say, man, for a .net, this is like literally one of the best, like
it's a banger. It's a banger
domains. I mean, and I think that wealth is an interesting thing because there's obviously like such a, there's a future piece to it. There's a lot of that kind of stuff, like, technology related, fintech, all that kind of stuff. But there's also an old, we talk about .nets being sort of like the dinosaur legacy extension that lends itself more to the brick and mortar kind of stuff, and I think you think about wealth management and some of that stuff, like, it's still very much a boomer name for boomer things that still could drive a lot of value is what I'm trying to say, so I like
some offline like wealth management, advisor, like that would be just an amazing name. Right.
Yeah, if that's your like, you find us
speaking of that, what do you guys think of Threads going with Threads.net? Do you think that's going to have any effect on the .net market?
It might. Just like, Twitter's rebrandx.com has everybody, buying up X domains and, even end users. But I think I think it gives it a little bit of legitimacy. But the truth is like, because it's Facebook, because they're as big as they are, because of the on-ramp to Threads is usually through Instagram or Facebook.
Right.
Not usually. It is.
It pretty much 100%. I don't really think it matters.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but they're gonna eventually make it web-based as well. So
Sure.
like now it's just view. At least last time I checked, it was just view only. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're going to have
Yeah, they have to. They have to.
web-based version.
Yeah.
So I think that starts to maybe get into people's heads. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really super excited about .NET, but this could have a positive catalyst.
Yeah. No, we might be able to, dump our bags.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Hey, on the last show we had bags.net was literally one of the domains that's going to auction.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think all three of us feel the exact same about .nets and .orgs. It's like it should be a great second choice. It's it's got the history, but there's been some incredible companies built on .nets, but it's just always going to be the redheaded stepchild.
Right. But this
wanted.
Really could change. I mean, I don't think it's going to make it jump to number 2, but I do think it maybe puts it back on the radar.
I think it puts it on the radar. I think that's right. I think it puts it on the radar. I'm not going to say ahead of anything else, but it puts it back on the billboard and or on the dartboard, and it wasn't on the dartboard for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, all good. All right, cool.
But I think that's right. I think that you see any company of that size saying, "Look, we're okay launching a multi-billion-dollar product."
.NET. They're saying
.NET. They're giving it legitimacy, no question.
They're saying that .NET is viable. Right?
Totally.
That's the message.
100%. 100%. Yep.
Of course, they'll still buy the .com if they need it, because for them to throw here's $20 million, whatever, if they need it, it's nothing.
Irrelevant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is Threads? I haven't even used Threads yet. Is it anything? Is it working? Is it active? Is it?
I think the initial hype was like cycle was big, and now it's kind of died off again.
Yeah.
So last I read was it's like there's a 50% drop off in daily active users, but like there's 185 million people that have signed up for it. So it's like they just hit the ground running. But because it's Instagram, but people have definitely dropped off. But that's okay. After the initial spike, there's still a lot of people using it.
Yeah. Now they got to sort of find their sweet spot. They need to differentiate. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to go head to head and compete with Twitter or X." There's too much affinity.
A very different experience. So when I will go and look and see what's on Thread, it is more of a, I want to say like more positive vibe, right? People aren't talking shit to each other,
but that's the only thing I like. I like the shit talking and the.
No, but what I'm saying, right,
I love that.
I'm saying it serves a different. It's not going to displace Twitter. It serves I feel like it serves a different purpose, and I was reading somewhere the reason he really did it is because I
think our audience really likes how engaged JT is.
Because the reason
they're having a conversation, they can't tell when they're listening as opposed to watching. You know what I'm saying?
Most people watch.
I was checking. Actually, no, it's not true. But we can look at the analytics and talk about it. But I was just checking something on my phone. I wanted to see about the Threads app. I haven't used it yet either, so I was trying to.
Yeah, but no. So what I was reading was that one of the main reasons Zuckerberg did this is because he gets so much more monetizable data from words than from images.
Totally. Yeah.
It's basically just going to feed the Instagram and Facebook, advertising engine.
Take that. Whoever said a picture was worth 1,000 words.
Right.
Until we have image recognition.
Yeah, which we already have.
Oh yeah, but
it's not as good as it's getting better.
But it's not the image recognition.
The Muse.ai, where we host this podcast.
Right. It's not image recognition.
Dude, their image recognition is insane. It's insane.
Right,
you can be like,
you have to
show me an episode where somebody had a blue button on their shirt. It'll fucking find every episode where somebody had a blue button on their shirt instantaneously.
Right, but you can't yet click to purchase that blue button, and that's what's coming.
Yeah, okay. Sure. Yeah.
That's when you can monetize every video, every photo that's posted by anybody.
Yeah.
And that's going to be huge.
Should we go long? What's the the picture people. Who are they? They own all the pictures.
Getty Images.
Getty. Yeah, we should go long Getty.
Dude, Getty, man. They are,
No, it's going to be UGC. It's going to be everybody that just posts a photo of whatever onto Instagram, and then you take a picture of the beach of a bunch of girls in bikinis, and all those bikinis are now buyable. And so some girl could look at the picture.
Ain't nobody looking to buy the bikini, brother.
Okay, maybe that was a wrong example for you.
I mean, I thought that was actually a pretty good example. I liked it. I was like, oh, that's pretty solid.
He was like girls in bikinis, and he couldn't follow anymore.
But no, I think you're absolutely right. Like, it'll be the kind of thing where something gets posted and it'll be like, buy this bikini, and you'll click it just like you would search for bikini or something on Google, and they would bring up all the shopping. In this case, it would just take that, it would cut that step out and make it that you could literally be like,
since Drew moved to Europe, he might be wearing bikinis. I mean, it's possible.
What do you think he's wearing? What do you think he looks like from the waist down?
Listen, man, we don't have that problem over here. It's all you folk in the U.S. who are real confused about what type of underwear or swimwear to wear. You know what I'm saying? We good over here. We know.
All right. Well,
Ammar. When we have this product recognition, right, and when all the photos become buyable, right, you can click through and buy it. What that's going to do is, it's obviously the platforms are going to make a shit ton more money because of the commissions, but they can now share the commissions with whoever posted that image. And once you can share that commission, that's why Facebook had come up with, what was it, Libra or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
The cryptocurrency, because it's micropayments. Because what they're going to share is 3 cents, 6 cents, right? And so, but once you can now pay people that are posting, people are going to post like crazy because they can make money from doing nothing, right? And now once people are posting like crazy, now you get a ton more content on all these platforms. That's what the platforms want, is more content, because the more content they have, right?
More
the more ads they can, the more money they can make, etc. So it's going to, like, the internet's going to explode once once product recognition becomes truly viable.
Yep.
It's a brave new world. So, all right, well, Ammar, what you got as far as the buy or sell?
Let's do a sell.
Congratulations, by the way, on selling a domain.
I don't remember what that's like.
GrandOpening.com.
Granite?
This is going to be a tough one for you guys.
Granite Expo. Is that a thing? Okay. That's pretty.
I'm surprised you had that name to begin with. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so the reason I bought it is because I bought our
granite countertop.
We bought our quartzite slabs from them here when we were remodeling, and the guy was really, really cool. So I was actually buying it. I was going to give it to the guy, and then he didn't want it, so I held on.
What happened was,
so you didn't get.
I was going to give it to him, but I sold it instead. And then I cut his bill.
All right. So you sold it. Let's see. GraniteExpo.com. All right.
Then you'll be surprised. There's a Granite Expo in every city, probably.
Okay, I just changing my price. All right, ready to flip? Let's go, Drew.
Oh, wait, hold up. I didn't. It's so bad I didn't even think about a price.
I was gonna go lower, but then I was informed that there's a Granite Expo in every city, son. All right, here we go. Ready, set, flip.
No.
Drew, where's your number?
Ooh, oh, wow. Okay. This is an interesting spread. We got Drew at 988, Braden at 998, and I'm at $4,999. I was going to be at 2,999, so I was at $3,000, and then you threw that comment out there, and I did literally what I just said after the last shit not to do. Go ahead. Who wins?
9,900.
Yeah, wow. Bang. What up? All right.
Oh my
you got $10,000 for that? No.
Look at that. Look at my boy Ammar. Ammarzan, baby.
What made you ask
go LL Ammar J?
Yeah, where'd you come up with that?
Don't call it a comeback.
You don't know how I work, apparently.
Yo, putting in that work.
Jesus.
Um,
That's
thought he was
And you've
on
wild.
only had that a
vacation.
couple of years too.
He went to his vacation
and
was
I-
to work, was works and
Right.
Caicos, baby. Let's go. Put in that
And I
work.
think I turned down like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 along the way, and I just said no. 9,900 is the number.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
That's
Where
wild.
did you get that? Did that drop, or you was a hand reg, or what?
It was a drop, and I think I paid 600 something bucks for it. Like I said, I bought it to give to the guy. So
You paid $600 to give it to him? You crazy?
That's a nice gift. Wow.
So
Why don't you just pay him for your granite?
I
Just
did.
pay him for your townhouse.
I did.
all right.
Wow. Sale.
So all right, let's do this. So all right, well that was
So
congratulations.
JT, you won.
I won. So that means I'm currently winning the domain game with 2, but there's a chance for you to tie me and take it to overtime, perhaps. So let me run. I don't have a name to talk about necessarily, but someone, we did get a comment where someone was talking about appreciating when we talk about sales on NameJet and why a name might sell for what it sells for. So let me do this. I'm going to bring up a NameJet auction name, and you guys will guess as to what it sold for. So stay off your computers. Were you guys, anyone involved in the BAPS, BAPS.com auction that ended somewhat recently? Drew, were you in that one?
What? BAPS?
BAPS, BAPS.
No, I don't know.
All right, well then let's go with that one. BAPS.com, BAPS. Do it quick though, so we know you're not looking at your NameJet account and seeing what some, or any of that nonsense.
But there's no like backlinks. It's not an SEO thing, right? You're not throwing us a curveball, are you?
No, all I'm doing is picking a name that recently sold.
Yeah.
I got no insight though as to why or what. BAPS.
BAPS. Where was it? Where was the auction?
NameJet. All right, y'all flip it. Let's go.
Based on nothing.
BAPS. All right, so Braden's at $2,800, Drew's at $4,508, and Ammar was at $10,000.
The reason
Ammar has tied the game.
Nice.
Ammar has tied the domain game. This name sold for $21,350.
Well, yeah. But
How
you
much?
throw in a name.
$21,350.
What?
So
On
at least I know
NameJet?
Why you give us an anomaly? That's like
You
that's
think that's
based on
Who?
So that's
who
an
benefits
anomaly?
from that?
it's got to because it's got to be SEO value or some
Yeah,
end
look
user
it
really
up.
wanted it or something because it's not worth that.
So you don't
Well,
think
it's
that
got
name?
no SEO value. Zero. He's got
Really?
it's nothing. No links, no nothing.
Well, there had to be a reason it went that high.
Yeah, what is BAPS?
Well, let's take a quick look, guys. This is the value we're trying to bring.
I was wondering if it was when I first saw that name, I thought it was related to bait.
Okay, like bathing ape.
Bathing ape.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking at first, but then
All right.
obviously it's not. So I don't know. But that's when I first saw that name. That's what I thought of.
Okay.
It's a Hindi humanitarian organization.
Mhm.
.org. That seems to be the biggest meaning. They got 46,000 followers, 47,000 followers. But I don't see why you got to be a dedicated Hindi to be like, I'm going to drop 21 G's on the .com.
Yeah. What about LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Anything like? Let's see.
It could be. It's possible it's traffic from this Hindi thing because they're on BAPS.org.
Maybe.
All right. Well, this is what. Hey, look, this is what everybody's paying for. This is what our audience is paying for with their admission fees. They want to get this great insight from you guys about something like
they
this.
showed up. They showed up for us to be like, I don't know.
Exactly. Like, this is. I just, but I just went through the order history. It just seemed interesting. I wasn't like, but more
Our
importantly, in
expert
markets.
analysis. Our expert analysis is we have no idea.
We have no idea,
Why?
and we would not. So you guys would not have paid this kind of money for this kind of domain.
Definitely
no.
not.
All right. Well, I thought maybe you'd have some insight. All good. Let's keep it moving. All right. So here's the deal. Ammar and I are tied. So we have to go into a sudden death. Could Braden or Drew? I would elect Braden, so it's not a name that I know. But do you have another name you could float for us? Another buy, maybe another sell, something that we could do a tiebreaker.
All right. Let me see what I got for you.
Ammar, get your phone ready. Drew, you can chill since you didn't get any points this game.
All right, here's another .net that I picked up.
Okay. Talk to us.
Euphoric.
Ooh.
.net.
Euphoric.
That's a horrible .net, man.
It's euphoric.
All right.
You were euphoric when you bought that.
I was on the fence when I bought it. I was like,
And I put $4.99 and Ammar put $1,800 for euphoric.net as a buy. Braden, who's the winner today?
JT's the winner. $4.55 is what I paid.
Was that
All right.
So dead serious, all playing aside, who do you envision, in what way do you envision that euphoric.net could be used?
Euphoric is just a very positive term. And
I'll let you say positive. I'm not going to say very positive because it does also have a connotation of like aloofness and
I don't think aloof. No, but it's definitely a positive name. I'll drop the very for you.
Okay,
but I don't agree
Conceded.
with you.
Conceded.
It's just a positive term. Everybody knows it. I don't know if everyone can spell it. It's
what would you value the .com at?
Well, let's go look. What's on the .com? If I can spell it, nothing. Doesn't even resolve.
Well,
probably get that for $4.50.
You know what?
Oh man.
It was a cheap name. I'm taking a flyer on it. It was not like, I got to get that name. I probably put a $500 ish proxy on it, and I got it for $450. I was like, whatever. If I can get it for under $500, fine.
Yeah.
I'm euphoric right now.
I'm not
because
better
I
than
won.
you. I've got 500 to 1,000 names with that same story, and Ammar's got 5,000 names with that same story.
Speaking of Ammar, I'm euphoric because I beat Ammar in the domain game, and he's still no swag for you.
If you buy a bunch of names cheap enough, they're good. Every once in a while, they're going to sell, and that covers all the other ones.
Yeah, for sure. And Ammar, I'm gonna send you swag anyway, dog, because you my people like that.
So, you need to add it to your account, Braden, because it's resolving to a Dan page that's not properly configured.
Oh, okay. Get in there and get off the hayride and fix your account, Braden.
Allie just got back from Europe yesterday, so she's playing catch up.
Shout out to Allie, man. Shout out to Allie. She all good.
MediaOptions is the industry's leading domain broker specializing in domain acquisitions, high-value domain sales, and domain name consultation. As pioneers and thought leaders on the subject of the domain aftermarket and domain name value, plus through their clear domain acquisition service, MediaOptions offers startups and established corporations an unparalleled scope of high-value domain options, providing access to domain names and curation technologies not available elsewhere. MediaOptions believes in the power of a great domain name and is dedicated to helping you obtain yours. Call or email today to put a domain to work for you.
All right, well, cool, man. I think that was a successful game, considering my victory. Feeling pretty good about it. And I'll be talking about that one for a little bit. All right. Well, look, let's keep it moving. We're going to slide into the next segment of the show, which is NameJetGonnaJet, sponsored by our friends at NameJet. And we're going to review a list of domains coming up for auction. We're going to see what the Sherpas like, what they don't like. If you go to the site, the DomainSherpa.com page, and we have the Excel sheet for the list, which has the domain Estabat appraisal. Take those with a grain of salt. How many back orders is the time we did the show, when you have to have your order in by. Keep in mind they're all expiring domains, which means that in order to participate in the auction, which would be a private auction, you have to have a back order in on the name, a minimum bid back order in on the name by the order by date, or at least by the right time on the order by date in order to make the cutoff, and along with some other info and insight as well into the names. So definitely check that out, and hopefully that helps. All right.
I'm gonna make a quick point. So you guys were talking shit about Granite Expo paying that much. If you go to it's being used now. They have 7 locations, and they were using the GrandOpening.com before. Their emails are all random Yahoo and Gmail and whatever. So now they're going to be able to consolidate all their locations under one premium domain. That's perfect for them. And I mean, 10 grand is a drop in the bucket if these guys make a lot of money.
No, I think that's a fantastic point. And I think it's actually a great, sort of illustration of the value of domains, why they're worth what they're worth. Because to your point, I mean, if you're spending any money on marketing, if you're spending money on a website, like, you've got to have a domain that actually is your brand. And, that is, for these guys, is probably the best domain they could get, short of granite.com. And, and like you said, for what they spent, absolutely reasonable. And the fact that they're using it and getting use out of it, that's
I mean, they'll be able to consolidate all their locations under one brand, which is great. Because they were like, for instance, for their San Jose one, they had GraniteExpoSJ.com. For a different one, they used the Granite Expo. So it's just like they weren't consistent. So this gives them one universal umbrella brand.
Consistency is key, man. Were you looking all that up after everybody was dissing you, saying that Granite X, like they were shocked?
Well, no.
Sold it for,
I mean, I
think you undersold. Now I feel like you undersold it. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm like, shit.
No. I mean, you guys weren't dissing me. You were saying that that's a stupid number to pay. But I mean, I think it's a good buy for the new owners.
100%. I actually think in a lot of ways they got a bargain, and I don't think we were saying it was a stupid number to pay. I think everyone thought it was a bit on the high side, but but I actually don't think that's the case when you look at, like, and this is why we talk about this all the time. When you're valuing a domain, it's not, and this is part of the Rosner equation and all that. It's it's the intersection of culture and commerce, right? I mean, that's like, and at the end of the day, it's like, it's the use of the name and who's out there that actually has the name. What does their budget look like? What are their means? And, really gives you a sense of what the real value is to a company.
The total addressable market, the proxy for the total addressable market is search volume and other lesser important forms of adoption metrics. And the proxy for commercial ability is the cost per click. And between those, I think you can assess 80% of what the objective value is. And then, there's a lot of subjective things that go into it. And generally speaking, domains sell more for their subjective value than their objective value. But the objective value is absolutely critical in anchoring both parties to whereabouts is fair market for this thing.
I'd say that to give a little nuance to your last statement, I think domains on the lower end of the price spectrum sell more objective value. Domains on the higher end of the price spectrum sell more based on subjective value.
I think that's probably mostly true. I think it's probably more the middle ground. I think at the very lower end, it's just impulse. I think at the very lower end, if you're talking about $500 to $2,500, I think those names are pure impulse. It's not neither here nor there if it's a $500 name, or it's budget, impulse, thresholds. And then I think you're right. I think that, in that middle ground, the $2,500 to $50,000, people are really concerned. What is this name worth? And looking to get a fair market and objective value. And then at the high end, there's so many variables involved that. But I do think that the objective value, even in a subjective purchase, in a subjectively priced transaction, I think that the objective value is key to anchoring, in the right spot and then sort of maneuvering from there. Guys, what do you think about solarenergy.com that sold on Sato yesterday for $175,000? Too cheap? Just right?
Way too cheap.
Way too cheap, right?
I think
I think it's okay. I think it's it's an EMD. The term is really solar power, not solar energy.
I would think the term is solar.
Well, the term for what though?
Well, solar for sure is way better. But then beyond that, solar power. People say solar power more than they say solar energy. I don't know anybody.
That's true.
I've never said solar energy. I say
That's
solar
true.
power.
Solar power probably is the bigger term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a decent sale. I mean, it's such a massive growing category. So we all like.
That's the thing is there are. It's like AI, solar, hydrogen to some extent. These are basically the areas where trillions of dollars are going to be invested over the next decade.
There's double the exact match for solar energy to solar power. Just to
really,
so you know, yeah.
Boom, motherfucking Ammar coming in with actual data.
I feel like solar energy is the more commercial term. And that's what that's where the money's going to be.
Motherfuckers like, I always knew solar energy was the term. I said
the shit. Is that US? Ammar, that data, is that US data?
I assume so. I was just.
Oh, you're trying to increase the sample size now. You're like efficient, man. You're like, give me some data that supports the statements that I was just making, please.
I'll tell you the real deal.
So to be clear, I mean, when I say it was way undersold or way too cheap, I think that in the next 5 years, that name should be a 7-figure name.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, if you look at the data, it actually, Braden's right. This was sold just about right. It's 36,000 exact match searches in the US, $3.50 a click. It's got a great long tail though. Solar energy companies with 8,000. What is solar energy? 7,000. Solar energy company 6. Solar energy definition 5. It goes on and on. There's a pretty fat long tail on that. But based on today's data,
right?
That's about the right price. That really is about the right price.
Right. Yeah, I'm talking just like if you were to hold, I think that that name is an appreciating asset for sure.
Yeah, there's
I agree
there's
with
very
that.
few places that more money is going to flow than into solar over the next decade.
Yeah. No, I agree. But what's the situation of the seller?
Right.
What did they pay? How long have they had it? Do they need money?
Yeah.
This could be like a lottery winning for them. I mean, who knows?
Do you guys have any insight into who the seller was or who the buyer is or anything?
No, I know Dave Evanson sold it, but I don't know who the owner was.
Yeah, I'm glad we went through this exercise because that had been bugging me. I was like, man, that just seems crazy for it to have sold for that price. But the data says otherwise. I think it actually was priced right. So hats off, Dave. Well done. Congrats, buyer, seller.
Yeah.
Look at that, man. Positive vibes. That's all we do here on Domain Sherpa.
We're feeling you.
We're all positive.
Yeah, we're feeling euphoric. We feeling euphoric. It's the sapphire, and we got sapphire energy, big sapphire energy.
Sapphire up in the house. It's all good.
All right, let's get into some NameJet names. Let's see what we think these.
Oh my god, I thought the show was over. Okay, here we go. Let's go.
No, we just did segment 3, baby, but we had halftime. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're sliding into segment 3, which is the NameJetGonnaJet segment, sponsored by NameJet. All right, well, let's rock on this list and let's see what's really good. Let's start with you, Braden, since you were the second man up on. Yeah. Well, unless you want to let Ammar start with the list, and you can go after him.
No, I'll go. Let me just open it up.
All right.
The spreadsheet here. All right. Feud.org. I don't know about Feud. It doesn't feel like it goes well with .org. Even though I know .orgs are hot right now, and I've always liked them, but
are they hot right now? Why are they hot? What?
Crypto, and all the alt stuff they're using.
Okay.
They're not afraid to use .orgs. But Feud feels more like, I don't know, FanDuel or something. Doesn't feel like it goes with .org. So that's not a positive, I guess. Junkyard.org. And that one's interesting because I like the term junkyard. There's a bunch of companies call themselves junkyard. And I could see that. I could see the .org going with it because junkyard can be anything. It could be an NFT project, right? I could see that work. And then I'll do one more, marvelous.org, which is kind of like Euphoric.
Yeah, you're hitting all the .orgs, man. So
yeah, that's the theme, .org. So
like
and then
it.
I'm done.
Marvelous.org. Like, what do you pay for that if you're buying that domain, or what are you trying to pay?
It's got to be cheap. It's got to be like sub $500, and which now that I'm talking about it, somebody's going to pay more than that, because they're going to think, well, I don't need to make as much money as Braden. Fine, I'll just sell it for $1,000. I'll double my money. Like, or if I can sell for $2,000, it's going to be a long hold. This is not something you're going to flip right away.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to sit for a very long time. But if you can sell it for $3,500, $4,000, something like that, it's fine. It's fine. It's just going to take a minute.
All right, I dig it. All right, cool. And then, all right, Ammar, what about you, dude? What do you like? What don't you like on the list?
So there's obviously something weird about Hesta. I don't know what the hell that is. So, I mean, it's pronounceable, but I don't know why it's got a $10,000 Hesta bot. So I don't like that one. The ones I do like.
Wait, before you get into what you do like, I put Hesta on the list for a reason. There is one company based
Spanish word or
no, it's actually a company based in Australia. It's health insurance, and so my question and the reason why I put it in here because I wanted to talk about it. Is so you've got it's an Australian industry superannuation fund for workers in health and community service sectors, right? So they've got 90,000. They service 90,000 employers. They've got 1 million members. A lot of close to 68 billion in funds under management.
And they're on the .com.au.
Right. On a .com.au. So my question being, right? In a situation like this where you have and from what I could tell, that was the only, and that's the reason the name has the value that it has and the biggest potential target that I saw. So if you're thinking, look, there's one buyer out here for this domain, right? How do you approach that, when you're thinking about buying this name for yourself? Are you saying there's only one buyer? I'm not interested. This buyer, I'm not saying that this company, particularly this fund, is that much of a target that it would be like, oh my God, it's a no-brainer. But let's say it was, or let's say it's strong enough to feel like, hey, there's a chance that we've got an opportunity to, sell this for real money. How much are you investing in that opportunity, right?
So I think it really depends on who that one buyer. There's a few factors in this case why I wouldn't do that. From personal experience, the Australian companies don't give a shit about .com. They're happy with their .com.au, and they're going to stick
until they want to go international. But if they're staying in Australia, they want .com.au for sure.
Yeah, and because I have a bunch of great .coms that .com.aus are developed and bigger companies, and they don't care. But number two, then you look at the company itself. Who is your one buyer? So going back to our earlier discussion, if I owned Thread, or if I had the opportunity to buy Threads.com, and would I overpay for that, knowing that there's only probably one buyer? Knowing that one buyer is Meta, I'd probably take that chance because I think your upside is asymmetric there. Mm-hmm. To your downside, right? So I think you have to really look at who that one buyer is before you make that bet, right? But generally speaking, I tell you, if you only have one buyer, it's probably not a great investment. But I think it depends who the buyer is.
Sure. Well, because a name like Threads, I mean, obviously there's other opportunities, but let's say it was the kind of name but that's your big whale that's out there, right? And
right.
Threads
well, that's what I'm saying. Your downside on Threads.com is not it's not going to go to zero. But
Sure.
if you pay them,
Well, I have a different opinion. I mean, like, no company is ever going to brand on Threads
I disagree.
after Facebook. Nobody.
I disagree.
Nobody.
No.
Why?
I think it's a great name for a clothing.
You're going to be destroyed in search.
No.
You're going to be destroyed on social. You have no chance of breaking through.
I 100% disagree with you.
I think it's I think it's an interesting.
It would have to be a different use case, right? It would have to be.
Listen,
clothing.
there are like 5, maybe 10 companies in the world that I would make that statement about. But if Google decides to brand on something, you can't, as a consumer brand, try and brand on that. If Facebook brands on something, if Apple brand, you can. That's a big fucking shadow to try and get out from under.
That point is well taken. I totally agree with you on that point that it's a big shadow. But I think if it's a very different, like Threads is a perfect example. I would have no problem setting up a clothing type site or some fashion related site on threads.com, right? Or it could be bedding, or it could be, I mean, there's so many things, other things it could be, I think, that I don't know. I don't think that's a bad, I
think you're both right. There is a big shadow, especially as it relates to social, but, and I also agree that it's probably not a good choice to brand on something like Threads. However, people still do it, right? People are not making necessarily the right decisions. They're not using branding agencies. They just pick a word that they like, right? And they go with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're both right.
But so again, I guess the point would be in the Threads example is it's not going to be worth less. It's not going to be worthless, but it might be worth less.
I don't know if I gave you a shout out on your tagline, man. I think I might have missed that earlier. But yeah, all right, Braden.
Let's not go back and rehash it though.
Archduke of Woodland Hills. It's not that your domain is worthless. It's just that it's worth less. And it's not that he's homeless. It's just that he's homeless. And
JT, what were you going to say about what we were just talking about?
To me, I would lean more towards. I agree that there are definitely a handful of brands where it's like, man, it's you got to be really careful because it's going to be a really tough slog to kind of have to fight against, unlimited budgets and the ability to get relatively front of mind, in front of an enormous segments of the population. Threads, though, is such a generic word to me, and I agree with you that I think a clothing company that, can utilize it. But I think what you're going to end up falling into, and this is what I was going to say about this Hesta domain. There's probably people that would buy it from you. If you bought a domain that had a really big target, it turns out that target doesn't work. There's probably other people that would buy it from you thinking they could reach that same target, right? But then that's going to be capped at a certain point for sure. And obviously the more fanciful and, the more that the name doesn't mean anything else. Like a generic term like Threads is actually a name that you can get a little bit of mileage out of, even with all that headwind. Obviously a name that doesn't have that kind of other sort of appeal because it's not as broad of a term. Is going to be super limited, right? So, you're not going to front run the thing, but when do you reach out? Like, when do you, like what?
I think you got an issue with Hesta also, just in general. Like, there's nothing else for Hesta when you search. Like, I don't see anything.
No. There's several dozen companies called Hesta, and there's the .io and the agency and there's a bunch of Hestas that are developed.
Interesting. So then that'll give you a little bit of something to backstop it, right? And I just find it interesting and kind of curious when you guys, if there is that one big potential buyer, right? You wait to buy the name, right? Again, front running is not something that anybody really does or condones. Plus, it's just it's just bad business. But But I guess I'm just trying to kind of gauge how do you sort of manage that balance, right? It's trying to figure out like, okay, realistically, do I think this is a buyer? If not, what are some other potential buyers? What are the potential uses? As those thin out, it becomes pretty worthless, right? Like it's not
Listen, I just a couple of weeks ago bought a name that really had one potential buyer. It was a 2-word name, and I had one buyer in mind. I took a flyer on it, and I wasn't going to try to kill it, and reached out the following week once it hit my account, and he made me an offer, and I sold it for about 2 point something, 2.5 times what I paid. And it was a real easy deal. He's like, yeah, I'll give you X. I'm like, how about this? He's like, all right. And it was done. And otherwise, if it wasn't him, I would have sat on it for God knows how long.
So Braden, what did you say when you reached out? I'm curious. I'm genuine. Like, I don't ever do outbound. So I'm just wondering, like, what did you say when you reached out and said, hey, I own this brand, your brand?
Yeah. I picked up this name. It was a .com. He was using an alternative extension. I don't want to say what it is because I don't know if I figured it out.
But what'd you say?
I didn't even give him an explanation. I just said I picked this up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I saw it on auction. I know about what he told me what I paid." And for whatever reason, he wasn't able to continue bidding on it, and I picked it up. And
so he was in the auction.
He had been in the auction, yeah. And then
wow.
I think his.
Oh man, Braden is like one of these front running auction guys from Bangladesh.
No.
All this time, I had these. I thought it was these guys.
No, but he didn't. But here's the thing: he didn't reach out to him though, right?
No, I did not outbid him. He didn't have a verified account, and so his stopped at $1,500 or something.
Got it.
So he couldn't bid, and so I outbid everybody else, not him.
And had you communicated with him prior to the auction or during the auction or anything?
And I was actually just waiting for him to reach out to me because obviously I put my name on the who is, and he didn't after a couple of days, and I just pinged him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm happy to take it, but I'll pay X. But anything more than that's not really worth it." And then I countered, and he said, "Okay."
But
it was super not friendly.
But did you communicate with him prior to the auction or anything?
No.
That's kind of what I was saying. I mean, that's the difference. Like the front running guys, what they'll do is reach out and say, hey, we got this domain, we own it already. Like they act like they own it or have rights to it, even though they're
Oh, no. I didn't do any of that.
That's why I said
I'm telling this story just because I almost never buy anything that's got one prospective buyer because it's just a recipe for disaster. But this, I just felt pretty confident that if I got it cheap enough, I'll flip it to him. And, if I can make a couple bucks, and I figured it would be worth it for him. And it was.
Well, I think that brings up a great point too. It's like you look at a name like this Hesta name and you think, okay, this is a big company that manages all this money and, it's got access to a lot of funds. Now, it doesn't mean they're necessarily spending a lot of it, right? But you got to think, okay, it might be worth $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, 10 G's is a pretty easy check for them to cut. So if you can get it for $1,000, and with a few other potential, buyers out there, I'm just saying it's an interesting thing to have to think about. But that was why I raised the question where, you're really putting your eggs in one basket. But, it's funny. It's like, once you own the name, kind of to Ammar's point, it's like, I own your brand. Like all your brand belong to us.
Yeah.
Right. That old game.
Yeah.
And it might be the title of today's show. All your brand belong to us. But yeah, so that's effectively what happens. All right, cool. So I just wanted to divert there a little bit and dive into that because I think that was an interesting question, and I appreciate you guys giving some insight there. What else you like or don't like on the list?
So where is the list? Okay. So I like I really like In the Zone. I like those kind of.
That's my favorite. Yeah, that's my favorite name on the list.
I like that one.
That's an Ammar name, no question. Okay,
Yeah,
that's written all over it.
I'm into it too. It's just like popular demand, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Popular.
I love those kind of names. I like that. I like Legal Kit. I like Rising Tide, and I like Remarry. So Remarried. Hopefully, Josephine's not listening to this, but I think that would be a great. That would be a great brand for a. I've always said there should be a. I know they have them, but they don't. seem to be popular, but a dating site specifically for divorcees and single parents. And I think that that's an underserved market. So I think that would be a great brand.
People are bidding it up right now as you're explaining that.
Yeah.
But besides that one though, I think my two favorite would be In the Zone and Rising Tide. I like both of those.
I was actually going to say, Rising Tide, I think is fantastic. To me, it's one of those things that represents a real positive kind of, we say rising tide lifts all boats.
But not very, because Drew will call you out if you say very.
No, I just call you out if you say very and it's out of context.
Yeah. But I think that, I actually like Rising Tide better commercially than In the Zone, maybe depending on what, but In the Zone is a great one too. And to me, it's, you could, it's it was an old basketball video game. Yeah. But it's all sorts of like, I envision Bouncy House franchise, or laser tag or it could be positive, like, mental wellness. We just did this digital well-being, mental performance episode on Sherpa, which is actually this drops today, with some folks out of Australia. That fantastic Fit for Life folks. That that's like, it just it vibes in a really positive. Both names I think are cool colloquialisms that are very like positive and could be used for a bajillion different things. So I think they're really cool.
Yeah. So we'll be bidding against each other, I guess.
I think, or let's do it. We'll collude. No, I'm just kidding.
The truth is, this might be the first time I'm saying this publicly, so it'll make it accountable for me. I have really kind of stopped buying domain names.
Oh,
as of about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I think Mila.com was the last big domain name I bought. I announced that one on here. And I passed on a bunch of great deals, and I just, I believe domain names continue to be one of the best investments in the world. I just had a lot of them. And it's like, I got a lot of very good domains, and I'm just looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm never going to sell all these in my life. So I don't know. I'm torn because, on the one hand, I think this is definitely the thing I'm best at. I have a competitive edge in this market. I don't have a competitive edge in any other market. Therefore, the arbitrage opportunity is best in this market. But it's like, it's where I got most of my chips. So I don't know. I just, we're going to see how it goes. I'm going to just start stacking chips and trying not to buy domains for a little while, see how that goes. And then I'll probably be right back with all you details.
You'll get sucked back in. I tried
You'll get sucked back in.
Shit a couple of years ago, and it's when the right name comes to you, you're gonna be like, okay,
you just can't say no. It's like
you can't resist.
Yeah. Well, Drew, in the meantime, why don't you send those to me and I'll pick them up, and that way you don't have to feel as bad. You're like, my friend picked it up, so something.
I should sell my deal flow. I should sell my deal flow. I should get, who's the highest bidder for my deal flow? I got good deal flow, man.
Well, and this is not the first time since I've been working with Drew where he says, "Hey, I'm done buying names."
No, this is the first time where I was earnest about it. I was like serious. I've considered it before, but this is the first time I've actually been serious about it. And I think I bought one name for $700 like yesterday or 2 days ago, and that's the only name I think I bought in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, and to the point that even our accounting folks are like, "Hey, are we missing emails? They're like, did some get messed up? In the process." So we'll see. Well, what was it about was it something about this list and these names that made you? Because it's actually your turn. So was there something you were thinking about where you're like, man, there's a handful of names that I otherwise would be in the market for, but since I'm
I mean, look, I love risingtide.com. I love inthezone.com. There's nothing else on here I'd categorize as I love. Strategic Funding is a good name. That's the one that, you almost a guarantee at some point you're going to sell that name, right? If you can buy it for a decent price, you're going to sell it for $5 to $15,000 at some point in the next few years. That's probably a sure bet. It's just a question of what can you get it for. And, but I love junkyard.org. It's tough as a .org. I don't know where you go with that, but there's this whole movement. My mom's obsessed with it. It's like she's never told me before. Every time I get on the phone with her, she goes, she's like, I just love this. Some stupid thing. It's not stupid. It's a good thing. It's like, pay nothing. There's like a movement called buy nothing.
Buy nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. My mom goes and buys a dozen eggs, and then she puts the freaking egg carton on buy nothing, and people come and get them. She'll wait till she's got 10 egg cartons.
What does that mean?
And then some local farmer will come and pick up the egg cartons to reuse. It's like Craigslist kind of thing, but
everything's free.
Everything's free. It has to be free, and there's rules around it. And you can just leave it out, and people come and just pick it up. And it's Braden. You explain it, you know better.
There's a buy nothing group in every city. They use Facebook as the platform. They tried to get off Facebook, but it didn't really work. But you have to actually live in the city, and you can only join your city's group. And these people get together. They have like little free flea markets where they all get together and bring their stuff out in somebody's yard or in a parking lot.
This is a dedicated community. These people are
definitely dedicated. You don't buy anything. It's all trade, including sometimes for labor, for a skill. People ask to borrow stuff. Hey, my daughter's going to the prom. Can I borrow a dress? So that happens too, but it's only your neighbors. So when I moved, I posted a ton of stuff on Buy Nothing. Little stuff I wasn't going to bother with because I just loaded it up and took it to Goodwill. But big stuff like I got a dresser I want to get rid of, or I want a bed or whatever. Post it on Buy Nothing, people come and get it, and they come and get it right away.
So what's the website? I just went to buynothing.com. There's nothing there.
No, Facebook, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh. And I think there might be buynothingproject.org might also be.
Yeah, they have that. They do have that, but they tried to switch everybody over and it just didn't really work. So it's still on Facebook because Facebook, is providing the infrastructure. So it's easy for them to stay there. Didn't cost
the
them.
risk. There is you don't own your.
But while I was using it and posting stuff, I would see somebody like, "Hey, my coffee grinder went out this morning. I can't." And I was like, "Oh, I've got an extra one." And then I would take my coffee grinder and I would just put it on the porch. I take a picture and post it. I'm like, "Here you go." And then they're like, "Great!" And they
come and get it.
So I would give stuff away, stuff that people were asking for, because I was like, "Whatever, I don't want this anymore."
They have an app.
Easy. They have an app now?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's called Facebook.
No, it says download Buy Nothing for iOS, Android.
Yeah, but I don't
You're
think
on the scam site.
No, I'm on buynothingproject.org.
Who says that's the right site?
It's all over the country.
Yeah.
They're like hundreds of chapters.
So anyways, the point being, junkyard.org is kind of like, it could be, something like that. But this thing is so big, I don't think anybody's going to come along and replace it. Is this like a truly decentralized movement, or is there like a figurehead? They can't make money, so it's got to just be.
There's somebody there's a woman or two women, I think, that started it. They're not making any money, and then each chapter there's somebody that like a chapter president or whatever, somebody that runs it for their city.
Yeah,
but it's all volunteer.
Huh. We got to put CoffeeZilla on it. See if there's a scam somewhere.
You try to
it's
find
interesting.
But anyways,
stuff.
I've never seen my mom so excited about anything as Buy Nothing. She loves it. It's like she goes and buys things at yard sales and then puts them on Buy Nothing and gives them away.
I love it. She's like making.
I see. She learned all her financial skills from her son.
Yeah. No. I got my motivation for learning financial skills by watching that.
Yeah.
I hope she doesn't watch this.
That's all right. Love you, Mom.
Do you have anything you want to talk about here?
Yeah. Big shout out. All right. Well, cool. So what's that?
Take control. Time to step in.
I'm in. All right. Well, good stuff. I think we've covered most of the list and definitely covered a lot of ground. So good stuff. All right. Well, cool. So final segment, last but not least, grand closing. I don't know if there's anything that anybody wants to talk about that we have not, but why don't we go in Ammar, you first, and then kind of like, everybody gets to start a segment. What you got anything to talk about that's going on in your life or that you're up to other than just the same old buying names, selling names, living the dream?
My whole life right now is domain names, eating, pickleball, and that's it.
Is that a pickleball shirt that you're wearing right now? Is that a pickleball
I
shirt?
am on my way to go play pickleball in about an hour. So
all right.
I finished
And
3 leagues last week. Huh?
What's the temperature in Vegas right now?
I'm playing indoors, but right now it's 100. Today's high will be probably 110. So I did play outdoors the other day, and let me tell you, it was very hard. It was not pleasant.
That's what she said.
I just saw Mike Ambrose. He just swung through Lisbon for a little bit, and then he was in a different part of Portugal. But we hung out a little bit. He was escaping the Las Vegas heat with his family. Yeah,
it's hot, no doubt. But that's what air conditioning's for.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, same thing in Florida. Like we treat the summer like the winter. You just stay inside unless you have a plan and something to do. And when you go outside and you're out and about, you got to manage it. Like instead of getting bundled up, we put on sunblock and find a pool or a beach, and that's basically the way that it goes. So
yeah. Florida, where you go to the beach with a concealed carry.
Hey man, look,
with your Speedo.
We permitless now. Is that a gun in your Speedo, or are you just happy to see me? It's like, oh yeah, semi-automatic. All right, so all right, well, cool, man. I appreciate all that, Ammar. That's good stuff. Drew, what about you? I know, like we talked a little bit about your travels. You back from Greece? What else you got going on?
Yeah, I'm back. About to get on the move again. All good in the hood, say a few negative words about the ICA's domain broker badge. That is a complete waste of resources and time, and should be aborted immediately. But outside of that, all good.
All right. So we're good. Braden, you.
I'm looking forward to getting back in my house next week. So I'm not going to be a nomad anymore. So I'm going to put my house back together and do some work to it probably. And then the second half of August, I think I'm going to take my godson on a little European trip.
Oh, very cool.
So if I go through Lisbon, we haven't come up with an itinerary yet. He's going to be in Israel for birthright. So either I'll meet him there or meet him somewhere else. I might go to the London Summit. If I can, it just depends because we haven't come up with the itinerary.
I would go to that, but I'm going to be traveling. But I would have gone. What do you guys think? I really want to go to this Dubai one next year.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but
I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to go. There's so much happening there, and I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good, energized environment with new faces and interesting people.
I should go sell them. I'll take my chef.com domain name. I'll wear the T-shirt.
Ooh,
Got chic.
Got chic.
Yeah, it's going to be good. There's been a lot of registrations, and it's there's been really good interest. There's been a lot of interest.
This is London or Dubai?
Dubai. I'm moderating Dubai.
What's the dates on? What's the dates on Dubai? It's October, right?
I think it's isn't it later than October, isn't it? It's 2024. It's like February or January or something, no?
No.
Or November?
It's November. Domain days.
Yeah, Domain Days Dubai. It's I'll tell you, November 1st and 2nd, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Those are good dates. That's a good little window.
Yeah. And we've got some dinners planned around it, so it's gonna be cool.
Let's connect about that, Braden, because I want to
there's a
go.
lot-
I want to do that one.
Yeah, register for the VIP package because we're gonna go out on a yacht, and then I think James booked another yacht as well, and then Jack put a dinner. I don't remember who's doing, but there's a lot of there's like 8 people.
No, there's
out
a
there.
ton of folks. There's good folks there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be should be interesting. Listen, I was just in Dubai in April, and it's place is buzzing. That place is just
crazy.
like it's just buzzing.
It's like Vegas
crazy.
on steroids.
But no, you can't even compare it to Vegas. It was like I went into it wanting to compare it to Vegas, and then you realize it's like Vegas is a fucking joke compared to Dubai. Everything's bigger, better, better built, better aesthetic, everything
Newer,
better, newer. Everything is perfect. There's no trash. There's definitely no.
Would you guys be going early and staying, or going and staying late?
It's a pretty easy trip for me. I think it's a 6-hour direct flight.
So you'd only go for the 2 or 3 days?
No, I'd probably go for like 3 or 4 nights. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going for longer too. Like I said, we've got stuff.
If you go longer though, you could do really cool stuff in and around Dubai. Like I don't know that you need more than 3 or 4 nights, like just chilling in Dubai. There's a lot of stuff to do, but you could go like do some amazing like dune driving and like there's a lot of cool stuff you can do.
Yeah, we did that. We actually did that on the last time we had a domain conference out there. We got dune buggies and
I
forget what they call it now. When you go out there and
falconry.
Falconry sounds fun. I would do that.
Falconry is dope. Like that's cool.
I've driven plenty of dune buggies, but falconry I have not done.
Yeah, I did it. I did a little bit in the south of Germany at this hotel that we used to go to. We haven't been there in a while, but I did a little bit of falconry.
That would be cool. Now you kind of got me wanting to do that.
Those are mean ass birds, man. People don't understand. Like, oh, pretty little falcon. No, that thing will rip you up. It will rip your eyes out. It will cut your throat, and it will just. It's just that's a beast of an animal. It really is. I think it's cool.
All right, maybe I'll go. It sounds fun.
Right. Well,
I'm gonna train a falcon to pickpocket you, Ammar.
all right.
If you guys decide to go, let me know so we can add you to some of the dinners and stuff.
Yeah, add me. I'm planning to go.
Okay. Get the VIP thing.
Okay. Get me a
All right.
talking slot, Mr. Moderator.
Yeah, you want to be on a panel? I'll put you on a panel.
Yeah. Let's go.
Look at that. This is how it happens.
I like talking to a new audience. I don't want to talk to this, telling the same people the same thing I've said a million times.
Let Drew and I argue about something on a panel.
Find a topic that Ammar and I can just
Great.
Ammar,
Ammar, you're
argue
gonna go?
about.
Yeah, let me. Let's talk later. I think so. Let me.
Of course, he's going. He's got to go back to the homeland.
Right. I really now I want to take my shake.com shirt and be that. That'd be a great shirt. Got shake?
Yeah.
Got shake.
Right.
All right. Cool. Well, look, I think we've covered it all today. Great job, everybody. I appreciate you guys, my co-hosts and my guests, as always, taking the time and the energy and being willing to share all this insight and with everybody is really, really special, and it's much appreciated. To the audience, I want to say thank you. Like I say in every single show, without you, there's no us. So thank you for tuning in. Please let us know if you have any questions, thoughts, comments, good, bad, ugly. Hit us up, Twitter, whatever, LinkedIn. We are not hard to find. And otherwise we'll just see everybody next time here on Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. All right, everybody, peace out, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.
Yeah.